I don't think most researchers would expect to have their research or even their book be profiled in a Netflix documentary, but that's exactly what happened to me. It has been a real thrill, but I think most importantly, it's brought attention worldwide to the issue of environmental racism. It's gotten a lot of attention from media. I've had media people from around the world contact me, but I've also had people, just members of the general public, contact me to talk about the film, how inspiring it is, and how inspiring the women on the front lines have been to them. And, where can I help? That's the kind of question I get as well, is that I saw the film and I want to know how I can help. I also think the reason why my work has such a reach is because of my community-based approach. It's much more compelling to focus on the stories of individuals who are sharing their stories, that you allow people to share their stories, and it's not about me, the academic, and my work and my research, but through my research I'm able to highlight and allow people to articulate their stories. That's certainly more interesting for the public. And one of the reasons I get a lot of attention from media, I would say journalists contacted me, because I've learned a long time ago that journalists who want to write stories on particular topics, they actually prefer to hear stories. They do want to hear from the academic. They want to hear about the stats to a certain extent, but I've been told repeatedly by journalists that we're more interested in the stories. We want to hear from the communities. And typically when a journalist contacts me, yes, they want to hear from me, but they always say, can you connect us to one of the women? Right? So I think the way that I do research, which I'm not saying is unique, but it's very different from the research that a lot of Dalhousie professors do, where I emphasize the community voice and not my voice only, is interesting. The fact that I want to do it in creative ways is interesting. I think people are attracted to that. And for me, that is exciting. That to me is where research should be going. When I think about kind of the old style research of just publishing and moving on to the next grant and publishing and moving on to the next grant, that doesn't excite me. It's not the kind of academic I want to be. I think I see myself more as a public intellectual, but somebody who's interested in creativity. So it's exciting for me to do this, but it's exciting, I think, for other people to be on the other end of it and want to actually highlight it and promote it because it's fresh.
Research is accurate when they're saying that racialized communities are being most affected by COVID. And we know we're hearing this from the United States, we're hearing it from Ontario and maybe from Montreal. But people seem to forget about what happens in Nova Scotia. That we have one of the largest and oldest historical Black communities in Canada. And so this is an opportunity for us to highlight the Black communities in Nova Scotia and some of the positive initiatives that are going on, and also to make solid recommendations to the Department of Health, to the Minister of Health, to the province of Nova Scotia, and how important it is to handle issues in the African Nova Scotian communities differently and to treat them equitably and sensitively. And I think what came out of this research is the need to have more health professionals that look like people that look like us, that look like people of African descent, to look at how stereotyping and labeling still exist. And we also want to help support the communities.
The purpose of the network here in the Atlantic region is to support capacity building for Indigenous health research. So basically, we know that Indigenous communities in this region have been the subject of a lot of research that really has had no benefit to them and has actually in fact caused harm in some cases. And a lot of Indigenous communities require research as a means to support their own initiatives and strategies, and they've done their own research prioritizing to various extents. And so We want to support Indigenous communities to be able to, augment and really enhance a lot of the work that they're already doing through research.
My work with COVID is looking at the lived experiences of the general public during the pandemic, including their worries, their fears, what their behaviors are looking like, what's driving their behaviors, where they're getting their information from, and then looking at how we can create evidence-informed interventions, some of which are around communication, to sort of improve health literacy and enhance public health behaviors. Our top priority is to get the information that we generate to the Canadian public.
Throughout the PLAY project, we're still writing up all of the results, and we've seen, the real value of outdoor least parts play for allowing children to develop key hallmarks of physical literacy, which to date there hadn't been any research on the value of least parts play for physical literacy development. So that was a really novel finding. And we saw that children were able to kind of take risks in their play, and the myriad of benefits that children got from engaging in risky play, and educators becoming kind of more comfortable with allowing risky play to happen because they were seeing the benefits of it. So all of these incredible findings that were happening from the PLAY project, when the project ended, we thought, we'd love to find an opportunity to kind of get across this information to the public. And so together we kind of crafted this series of events in the summer of 2019, which we called the Summer of Play, to kind of get the word out there to the public on the value of outdoor least parts play for children's development, particularly physical literacy, and then also to talk about the notion of risky play and the benefits of risky play for physical literacy and other health benefits.
My name is Sean Bowe. I'm the Associate Dean Research here in the Faculty of Health at Dalhousie University. The Faculty of Health is a leader here at Dalhousie in health-related research. We have researchers across the full continuum of health research, from basic discovery in things like pharmaceuticals, all the way through to community-based participatory research that impacts on the lives of Nova Scotians, Canadians, and even those abroad. The research that happens in the Faculty of Health every day impacts on our professions, it impacts on our healthcare systems, our policies, and our procedures. Students here in the Faculty of Health are a major part of the engine that keeps, or that allows us to engage in this research that impacts on the health of Nova Scotians and Canadians abroad.